probably should begin. Hello, people of the internet. I am a random Pokemon nerd, and I am here with my fellow other Pokemon nerd, who is surprisingly
Oh,
not any of my other friends that I usually hang out with. No, this is my friend who I've had for a few years. She goes by That Girl Giveaway, and she streams on Twitch sometimes.
yeah, sometimes.
All right, and if you want to know what she's done for my channel before, go back and check out my Pixelmon HM version video. She made some good art for me a while ago. Anyway, I brought a fellow Pokemon nerd here, so that way she can help me rank all of the Kanto Pokemon on a ranking scale from best of the best to just flat out no thanks. And yeah, that's how this is going.
This is scary.
All right. Actually, no, let me go ahead and say something real quick. I want to make sure OBS is actually getting your audio.
Alright.
All right, now you're okay. Yeah, we're good. All right, so we're gonna be ranking these in what I believe to be the order of the Pokedex. So let's start right off the bat. How do you rank Bulbasaur? It's the grass starter of that generation, and it's good for the first two gyms.
So we're basically putting it on a power scale?
Mostly ranking it based on our opinions, how it is before it evolves, just everything about it that we know and how we feel about it.
Alright.
Whether that be from things we've seen in the anime or so on and so forth.
If it's going from like the anime, then Pikachu's already gonna be best of the best.
Well, we'll see about that. But Bulbasaur, honestly, I feel like Bulbasaur gets the most overshadowed by Squirtle and Charmander.
Yeah, it's the least picked.
Even though in the anime, Bulbasaur is by far one of the better ones Ash used.
Yeah, it really is.
I really like Bulbasaur though. I think it's pretty good. What do
I
you
think
think?
Bulbasaur's really cute.
All right, I think we should put
Like,
it on. What do you think? Good.
I think it's like, it can be good if you use it correctly. That's why most, speedrunners and all that, they pick Bulbasaur sometimes.
Yeah, well, that makes
Either
sense.
that or Squirtle.
I mean, I am a Squirtle stan, but I say we put
I'm a
Bulbasaur.
Charmander.
Fair enough. I say we put a Bulbasaur in average. Like that's pretty.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Ivysaur. Overall, it's the most natural evolution of Bulbasaur, in my opinion. It looks good, and
It does look good.
that's about all I can say. We don't really you don't use Ivysaur that much. Most people usually.
Yeah, it's only Bulbasaur and Venusaur.
Yeah, I'll go and I say we just put that in average.
Yeah, because it's not weak.
By the way, we are obviously not ranking Mega Forms because that is not on this tier list, unless it's for some. This is only the Kanto region right now. We'll get to the other regions eventually.
Alrighty. We'll probably just add Mega Forms whenever they added Megas into the actual games.
We'll see where the tier lists put us. By the way, I am using a pre-made tier list, so if you guys ever want to do this yourselves, just look up tier list in Kanto, and you'll probably find this.
Yeah, probably.
Overall, Venusaur is well, it's the fully evolved. It's the fully evolved Bulbasaur. It's obviously one of the stronger ones, and it ended up getting both a Mega form and a Gigantamax form. So what else is there to say?
Put it like really high.
I'll put in, we're only ranking this form, so I'll put it above at Bulbasaur and Venusaur, but that's about it for me on that.
Yeah.
Charmander is the fan favorite of the Kanto starters.
Yeah.
So I feel like putting it anywhere except up to leader class is a sin. I wouldn't say it's on rival class because it's a first stage. It's not really that strong, and it has a very glaring weakness of if its tail gets put out, it dies.
Which is a very dark fact.
I know. Dude, have you seen any of the Pokedex entries for some of the ghost types?
Oh god, like Haunter.
Or Annihilate?
I haven't seen that Dex entry 'cause I don't think I have Annihilate.
That's just a reminder that you need to finish Scarlet.
True.
But for real though,
I really do.
I'll go ahead and explain this. Annihilate kind of piggybacks off of a previous Pokedex entry that says sometimes Primeape would get so angry it could die, but in this case, it gets so angry it releases itself from its physical form. And that's cool.
So like, okay, that's actually cool.
Charmeleon. I have nothing to say about this, honestly. The only thing I
That
remember
is
mostly,
true.
the main thing I remember from Charmeleon is how much of an a-hole he was to Ash.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, it's powerful. Like, I think this is the one that learns. I think he can learn Metal Claw and Dragon Enrage, which are both very good moves.
Yeah, especially Dragon
Uh,
Rage.
you know what? I feel like Charmeleon, while is good overall, it doesn't get a lot of love, and I'm gonna say it kind of belongs in the average class, just above Bulbasaur and Ivysaur.
Yeah, because like Charmeleon's not talked about as much as Charmander and Charizard.
Oh, come on, none of them are talked as much as Charizard.
That is true. That
Uh,
has been like a fan favorite Pokemon top 10 for the past 20 years.
yep. Alright, Charizard, if I don't put you high up, people are going to assassinate me, so what is there to say about Charizard that hasn't already been said? It's a mother effing dragon that's not a dragon type
That
until
is true.
until Mega Pokemon, but that's we're not right talking about that today. It has gotten the most love out of almost any starter in existence, I think.
Yeah.
It's flying fire, which gives it some advantage over ground, although the rock isn't great. And if
But it
I'm
has a lot of weaknesses because of its fire type.
water and rock mostly, water, rock, and electric. So, but it is immune to ground, and ice is neutral against it. So that's pretty average, I guess. Overall, I'd say it
Yeah.
goes. It belongs in the rival class. Very powerful, but also has enough weaknesses to call it down. If we were ranking this based on, if we were giving it its mega form, I would say probably X would be the best of the best, but no. That's only
Well,
because
it's got two Mega Forms, and it's also got a Dynamax, and then it also had a completely different role in Alola with the flying mechanic.
that is true. That is true, but we're only going off Kanto right now. So if we were
Yeah,
going to rank it on its usefulness in Kalos, I guarantee it would be best of the best. All right,
that is very true.
my boy Squirtle. I've honestly have learned over the past couple weeks that I've just seemed to just love turtle Pokemon. I don't know why, I just do. My favorite Pokemon's a turtle. I love defensive plays, and overall, I just love this little turtle.
I love Squirtle. Not as
Uh,
much love as Blastoise, though.
all right, then I think we're both in agreement. Definitely leader class next to Charmander.
Yes, yes, 100%.
All right, Wartortle on the other hand, I feel pretty much the same as Charmeleon. Like I like it, but it's not very talked about or used a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Overall, I'd say it definitely belongs in average with Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, and Charmeleon.
It's just like all of the middle evolutions in general are just like not talked about
Oh, believe me,
until like later generations.
I have some very good opinions on a bunch of the middle evolutions. Just none of
Oh,
the rest of them.
really?
Like if we're gonna
Ah.
like when we get to Alola, I definitely have some very strong feelings towards Torracat. Tor it's
I got one. I got some too.
uh all right, well Blastoise. Well, I'm gonna be completely biased and put it above Charizard. uh,
Chonky boy. Chonky.
okay, I can't. Okay, I'll explain myself a bit. Water Bowser.
That's fair.
Now, but
I
for
actually never thought of that.
first off, Blastoise was my starter in my Fire Red Nuzlocke, not my randomized one. That one's different. But it's purely defensive. It won the death battle between between it Charizard and Venusaur, and overall has is the better choice in my opinion. And yes, I
Yeah,
know
that
almost
seems
every
reasonable.
region in existence has a ton of water Pokemon, but come on. It's freaking.
This generation's not so much. It's mainly grass.
And dogs.
Not really.
There are a lot of dogs in this region, in Paldea. You cannot deny that. Growlithe, Arcanine, Grevild, the evolved form of it, I can't remember. The Fido, the. I cannot remember. Dashbun, Rockruff.
Mastiff.
Exactly. There's a lot of dogs. But we'll talk
Yeah, but
about.
some of them are actually cute.
I know, right? I love Rockruff, though.
Good dog.
Alright,
Very, very
Caterpie.
good dog.
I like Caterpie. We're finally out of starter territory.
Weak.
Yeah, not gonna lie, Caterpie overall is not a great Pokemon, but that's kind of why it
Cute,
evolves so
but
fast.
weak.
And let's go ahead and just put Metapod below Caterpie. Sorry, but having the fact that it takes so much effort to evolve it without the experience share, yeah, as much as I love defensive Pokemon, Metapod does not fit the bill at all.
Only thing that I can remember that it learns is Harden. That's it.
Pretty much. And that's if you catch it right off the bat. That's why evolving one is so crucial. Butterfree is okay. It's not
Yeah.
it's not great against rock, which definitely doesn't fit against the first gym. But overall, it learns a psychic move. It learns a bunch of powders. It's pretty okay, and we'll go ahead and just put that on average for that reason.
That's fair.
Weedle, have fun with Caterpie. And
Yep.
Kakuna, you have fun with Metapod. Believe me, this is all the same thing. Alright,
Yeah.
Beedrill. Now, as much as I dislike bees, and I really do,
Burn
Beedrill
down a
is.
whole forest in Minecraft.
Yeah. Beedrill, do not entirely dislike. It is actually surprisingly useful. When it can learn bug moves, that is. If you're using any like Gen 1 game or even Gen 3 version of Kanto, you're kind of limited though.
That is true.
It's Beedrill. I'll put it on average next to Caterpie or not Caterpie, Butterfree, but yeah, overall not the best. Pidgey. It's a bird. What else are we gonna say about Pidgey? It's a bird. Okay, whatever you just said just got cut out. Thanks, Discord. Discord's glitchy. That's what happened.
Blame it on Discord. Yay, let's go.
That's what I usually do. All right, but back to what I was saying. Pidgey. It's a bird.
Bird.
That's it. It's the first stage bird, and most of the time the first stage bird does fit under the weak state. It is useful for the bugs,
Yeah.
but that's about it. Now Pidgeotto, that definitely gets a lot more love than Pidgey.
Yeah, but not as much as Pidgeot.
Yeah, so I think overall Pidgeotto definitely earns itself in the average class because most time you see it with it.
Yeah.
Pidgeot or Pidgeot or whatever. I don't even know anymore.
Pidgeot.
Um, Definitely a strong one, and I would say belongs above average in my opinion. So
I'd say almost like trainer class almost.
actually, you're not wrong. The rival does usually end up using a Pidgeot or Pidgeot. I can never know how to pronounce it. So yeah, I'll put it next to Charizard.
Yeah, because it's high up there, and plus if you use the right moves and get the right ability, as well as right nature, it can be really, really good. It can sweep gyms by itself.
Why we stand the bird because the bird is the
The
one.
bird.
All right, Rattata.
Weak.
Yeah, not even gonna lie here. Rattata, not fantastic, especially considering it. There's every generation has a normal type that I cleverly clarify as the Rattata of this generation, whether it's better than it or not. And yeah, Rattata, you belong in the weak class.
If it was good, then maybe Team Rocket would have actually won something.
Nice. I think we might have to actually boost Raticate up a bit, because I watched a Nuzlocke video involving the one, the only Alpha Rad, and he used Eradicate in a very clever way
Yeah,
to
I
like.
saw that too.
I feel like just for that we will put it above. We will put it. Mm, we'll put it low leader class. Like it'll be the bottom of that tier, like just above, because it's just above average enough to work.
That's fair. That works.
Oh boy, Spiro, the better Pidgey.
The better Pidgey, what?
I mean, come on, it definitely is more has more fights than our friendly neighborhood early route bird.
Nah. I think, in all honesty, I personally think Spearow is worse than Pidgey.
Wow. Okay. Here's what I'll do. I will split the diff and I will put it on the high weak class. Like it's close to average, but not there. That seems fair.
Looking at all the EVs and IVs and everything, Pidgey's
Oh,
got a base stat of 56 and Spearow has a base stat of 70.
oh, don't worry.
So
We'll
it
get.
is more powerful in the aspect,
That's
but
what I thought.
Pidgeot and Fearow are a 1 point difference with Pidgeot being higher.
Wait, actually, like 1 point difference.
Yeah, Pidgeot has a 101 base stat, Fearow has a 100.
That's hilarious.
And then
Oh,
Pidgeotto has one more than Spearow.
all right, but Firo, definitely a good bird. Not as good as Pidgeot, obviously, because fully 3 stage, or at least I think it's not.
Yeah, fully evolved 3 stages.
Overall, I'd say it's probably in the leader class ahead of Eradicate. It's a pretty good bird.
Yeah, that's fair.
Oh boy, we've gone to the first Team Rocket Pokemon, Ekans.
No, we already got Rattata, we already got Rattata.
Oh wait, did they actually ever use a Rattata? Because I'm pretty sure the first thing they used was Ekans and coughing. Oh, oh, are you talking about like the game one?
Rattata and Eradicate were Team Rocket.
Oh, I thought I was going by the anime. My bad.
No, I'm going by the games.
Well, that's well. Let's So I have some interesting things to talk about Arbok, but we'll get there in a second. Ekans is interesting. The ability Intimidate it can have is by far one of the most useful abilities in the whole series, and
That is true.
if used properly, Ekans can be quite effective in their own way.
Considering it's a poison type.
Well, it's definitely a lot more useful nowadays with Fairy being a thing,
Yeah.
which I do count that since we did get a Kanto game that does involve the new types, or the
Really?
we did get the Let's Go games, which does count as a new, which does include Fairy, so it
I
counts.
didn't play the Let's Go games.
I played one of them when I first got my Switch because I didn't have the money for Sword at that moment.
That's fair.
All right, Atkins overall pretty okay. I put it an average above thing Regal and a Butterfree, even though Butterfree could probably just one shot confuse this thing.
Maybe.
Arbok, okay. I used an Arbok for a lot of my Fire Red Nuzlocke run, and it legitimately helped me a lot. To which in point I would say it definitely belongs in the leader class, probably above Raticate. Do you have do you have any opinions on that?
Uh, only time I really used an Arbok was in Alola, so I don't really got any opinions.
All right, well, it belongs there.
Because
Well, on the plus side, this is probably I think this is the generation that has the most Pokemon, so hopefully we won't have too many issues when we eventually get to the other ones.
um, actually, I think it's Gen 2 or Gen 3 that actually brings the most Pokemon.
Ah, crap. Maybe
I
crap.
saw a like
We'll I gotta probably Google that, but that'll be for another time. All right, we are down to the biggest mascot in all of history, Pikachu.
if you want to go based off of the anime, go ahead and just put it best of the best.
Now, here's the thing. I don't dislike Pikachu, and I by far wouldn't do not hate it, considering I used one for the majority of my run in my Fire Red Nuzlocke, and then eventually got it to a Raichu. Pikachu is extremely popular and has clearly the potential to be extremely powerful when used right. I mean, just look at Red's freaking Pikachu; it's his strongest Pokemon.
That
Over
is true.
Overall, say it's definitely a rival class next to Charizard.
That's fair, cause like
I don't think it's the best of the
it
best
being the
either.
strongest, on Red's team, considering Red has all three starters, that
And
is saying
Snorlax.
something. That is true. Snorlax is really tanky.
It is. We'll get there when we get there, though. Raichu, if it was just as beloved as Pikachu, I would say it definitely would be higher than it. But overall, I'd say it's on the same level.
Yeah.
I will say though that Ash's friend Go's Raichu is probably the best representation of the species since it actually was a nice Pokemon.
There's a lot of nice ones, so.
True, but that Raichu that Lieutenant Surge used was kind of a prick.
Yeah, it honestly just depends on the trainer's attitude. Because the trainer's attitude will rub up on the Pokemon and it'll change their entire personality.
Is that why all of James' Pokemon loves him?
No, it's because he gets that one, like, rare chance of actually getting a female.
Fair enough. All right, Sandshrew. I really like Sandshrew. I love the Alolan one just as much, but it's just I like the way Sandshrew is, and I like the fact that there's one anime that a Sandshrew just one shot everything.
It's a
Overall,
very
it's
tiny baby.
overall I'd say it's definitely a leader class Pokemon. What about Sand
Yeah,
Slash?
that's fair.
What about Sand Slash though?
Sandslash,
I saw someone go through it
used
in Elite Four.
professionally.
I think I think Sandslash is deserving of a rival class, considering I've seen someone use a Sandslash so effectively, and it was a main state against the Elite Four.
Yeah, I did that on Pokemon Planet. You basically have to go through the current. It did up to like Gen 5, I think. And basically, you needed a Sandslash in order to actually complete the Elite Four of Kanto.
I
Because it
think
was like that difficult and that needed.
I think we have to rank the Nidorans and their current forms together since they're so similar,
Yeah, because it's literally just gender differences.
and a couple stat differences, which I think
Oh
Nidoqueen's
yeah,
more of
I'm
a
looking at
tank.
that right now.
I think Nidoqueen's more of a tank compared to Nidoking, but we'll get there. The Nidorans, I honestly don't have much opinion on them. I think their evolved forms are better or suited, and
Mm.
like they're not super weak at all, but they're also not great.
Yeah, just put them in weak because they are a base evolution.
Yeah. Their other forms, Nidorina and Nidorino, are definitely better suited towards average. Like
Yeah, and then you gotta have to put Nidoqueen and Nidoking. Honestly, put them on different levels because their stats are like a kind of dramatic change.
how much of a difference are we talking? Like, do you think they're good enough to be on the rival side or the leader side?
It's a 9 point stat difference.
Hmm.
It's a 9 point stat difference throughout the entire evolution line, with Nidoqueen being the weaker one.
Well, that's just sexist. I'll
The attack buff is what's more stronger, so Nidoking actually has a higher attack.
I'll put Nidoking a bit higher on the rival class, but I'll still put Nidoqueen on there. I'll put,
Alright.
the difference is minimum, but still. Okay, Clefairy.
Baby. Put it in the week.
That's
Any
funny.
baby Pokemon's going in the week.
It's not even a baby. It's Cleffa that's the baby.
Well, that's considered a baby in this generation. Put it in the bottom.
All right, you know what? I'll put it next to the birds. I'll put it
It's
above
got
the
a
buff.
35 base total. That's weak.
Okay, never mind then. Are we? I guess the only reason we're not going to put it in no thanks is because of Clefable.
Clefable's a lot stronger. It's got a 60 base
Also,
stat total.
let's also count. Also, I used a Clefable in Alola for a little bit. It's it's definitely durable, and but overall, does Clefable ever really learn any decent moves that outside of outside inside Kanto?
I don't know.
Mm. I'll go ahead and put it on high average, but that's about all I can say for it. Like
Oh
if
wow, I'm reading this.
hmm, what to say about Vulpix?
Um, it's average.
Yeah,
Pretty much it's just average.
I almost never use one. That's the problem, and I don't think I ever find one to use one either. So that's yeah, it's probably better than the Nidorands, but or the whatever. I'll just put it next to the snake. That's fine. I'll put a fox next to a snake. That totally won't cause a war.
But Ninetales though, that's a completely different story.
I've used an Alolan version of these, but that's not what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, it's later.
I think Ninetales is probably leader class, but not good enough to be rival class.
Because it
Here's
is actually used like professionally, but it's also dropped midway through the playthrough.
hmm. So I'd say probably put it next to the Sandshrew. Why not? Oh boy, what is to say about Jigglypuff? What do we say?
Jigglypuff.
What do we say about this Smash Bros. Character?
Um, really annoying.
Yeah. Um, it's better than Clefairy. I will state that.
That is true.
I'm gonna want to say probably putting it in the average class seems about right. And Wigglytuff, I have very little opinion of, almost non-existent, other than I don't like running into them.
Yeah, but they kind of give XP. It's like, eh. It's only in the games.
I'll put it in
Look,
average. I'll put it in average simply because I never use one.
that's fair. I don't see anybody using that like in an actual playthrough.
Oh boy. All right, we're down to Zubats and the most hated yet loved Pokemon in existence.
Yeah, because it's so common in caves.
It's so common, but Crobat is so good. But Crobat isn't in this generation, and we're not ranking that anyway.
Yeah, that is true. Zubat
Overall,
with a 215 base stat total. It's all right.
all right, I'll put it in. I think it's fine for average then. All right,
Golbat, pretty good.
Golbat's it's Golbat. I don't, I'll put it in leader class because a lot of high-ranking individuals end up using one. But I'll put it at the bottom of it. Golbat.
That seems fair.
If it was Crobat, we have a potential rival in even best of the best. Honestly.
Yeah, if Crobat was here, then honestly, that would be best of the best.
Okay, Oddish. Well, I have very strong opinions on Oddish. It failed me in my original Fire Red Nuzlocke and ended up helping me the most in the long run in my randomized Nuzlocke. What do I say about it other than it's very underestimated?
Um, not used enough because like you can use it really good because like doesn't it learn poison powder?
Yes, I'm not sure if that's before or after it becomes Gloom.
I think it's like after, but it could
It's
still technically be taught by TM.
hmm. And let's keep in mind that I also used an Oddish to defeat a Milotic once.
Wow,
Yeah. So
resources, man, resources.
so I'm gonna go and say it definitely earns a spot in the average class, just above it, above weak. Now,
Yeah, that seems like a fair ranking.
Gloom, I think, is a little better than Oddish, but not good enough to beat average, honestly.
It's not weak.
Not at all, and we already put its previous form above weak, so yeah,
Just put it lower average.
yeah, it's not at the top. Vileplume, on the other hand, if it does, I feel like it deserves leader class. That thing is terrifyingly strong when it's used right.
That is true.
All right, yep, you're on the leader class. You can hang out. You can hang out with my previous friend Arbok. Oh God, Paris, the most dangerous thing in Legends Arceus.
That is so true.
I
In
feel
so
like
many ways.
I almost want to put that in. I almost just want to put that in best of the best, but let's be real for a second. It's quadruple weak against fire and flying. That's that's four times weaknesses, and not a lot of coverage. Because Bug, while is good against Psychic, who would throw a Paris against a Kadabra?
It is one of the weakest Pokemon in this entire generation.
Sorry, Paris, but you are fortunate. All in Legends Arceus, you are terrifying. We have to put you for this world's sake. We have to put you in no thanks.
It's weaker than all the starters, but stronger than a Caterpie.
That's well, I'm still putting it in no thanks. But what do we say about Parasect?
That's actually really good. Parasect is really, really good.
I've never
Because, like,
used
it's
one.
used in an Elite Four team, so.
It is? Hmm.
Yeah.
Alright, I feel like just for that alone, it definitely earns a spot in the leader class.
With a
Alright,
345 base stat total, yeah, that's pretty good.
where do we put a Venonat?
Hmm,
Seriously, where do we put it? I actually don't know.
I think no thanks.
Not a huge fan of this one.
Yeah, not really.
I mean, I think it's better than Paris, but I can't think of any reason.
It's only 10 points better than Paris.
Wow. What do we say about its other form, though, Venomoth?
Um, I don't know, but their lines in the anime basically was like carved into my brain. I cannot forget it.
Neither can I. I'll go ahead and put Venomoth off an average. It can hang out with the
Yeah, it's used.
it can hang out with Butterfree and Beedrill. Hang out with all the flying bugs. Except Scyther. We'll get to that though. Diglett. It's fast, it can hit, but it has no defense. Where to
Isn't
put
it like, isn't it a ground type?
it is a ground type, yes. It's
It's
Diglett.
already a resistance
True.
against like a lot, so.
Like I said though, Diglett is fast Diglett is fast, can hit hard, and has no defense. It's basically ground type Alakazam.
That's one way to
So
put it.
I'll go ahead and put it in average then for this reason. Dugtrio is better, stronger Diglett.
I'd
So
put it on either like leader or rival.
I'll considering like with Arbok, I used Dugtrio for a lot of my Fire Red Nuzlocke. I'll put it next to Arbok for leader class. Meowth, that's right. Okay, now who uses Meowth exactly though?
Team Rocket.
Okay, but that Meowth can Gigantamax,
Okay.
but not at will apparently. Hmm, I don't really have many opinions on Meowth. The only Meowth I've actually ever trained was an Alolan one.
Just really low in Persian, I'm guessing.
Yes, I was trying to mess around with some strategies at one point, but uh, has Meowth ever actually successfully won a single fight without cheating?
I don't think so.
Sorry, Meowth. I think you're in the weak class.
He's
All right.
not weak per se. Actually, I'm looking at his stuff. Yeah, he's kind of weak.
But Persian, Giovanni's right-hand cat. I feel like we almost have to put this in leader class just to as for that sake.
Yeah, that's like the only thing we would really do with that. Well, it's just
But
got a really, really high speed stat.
the cat is fast, and therefore it belongs in the leader class. Oh boy, Psyduck, you were you,
It's a
you
duck.
you were the chosen one. You were supposed to bring balance to my team, not make it more annoying. Did you know that in Gen 3 it apparently learns almost no water moves naturally?
In Gen 3?
Yes, making my randomized fire Nuzlocke a pain in the neck. I think from that, I want to put that in weak for that alone, but I feel like it's more average than that, especially since you can teach it Surf.
Surf is really good.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and put it in average. I don't know how to say what to talk about Golduck though.
405 base stat total, really good.
I've never used one properly. That's the problem.
Yeah, I have never used one
It's
properly
also
either
still
because
pure.
I don't really put Golduck on my team.
Also pure water, which is annoying since it does no current psychic moves. Because that was Psyduck's whole thing in the anime was that it uses psychic powers. It's like the
It's
whole
called Psyduck for a reason.
exactly. It's like the whole Gyarados dragon situation.
Yeah, how's that thing a dragon? We'll get into it later.
And even its mega form isn't a dragon. Overall, I'll put Golduck next to Persian and in the leader class. It's probably useful if we'd actually use it. But guess what's next? It's Mankey.
The monkey.
Now, I did use a Mankey at one point to through. Actually, no, I used one for the majority of my Fire Nuzlocke, and I did have Primeape on the team. I feel like Mankey is good enough to a point where it would be above average, just not at leader though.
Yeah, above
Also,
average, not leader.
all right, so yeah, definitely ahead of it's the top of the average board. Primeape, on
But
the other hand,
Primeape.
I think that is probably a rival class Pokemon right there.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Also, I saw someone use a Mankey to take out a Pidgeot or a Pidgeotto, which is terrifyingly strong. All right,
God.
now we're on to the best, to one of the first dogs in the whole series. I think it actually is the first dog.
Yeah.
Growlithe. The thing that was difficult for me to catch in my randomized Nuzlocke. Seriously, the world really didn't want me to have Growlithe. It's kind of sad.
They said no dog for you.
Growlithe is pretty good, I think. It learns moves at higher levels, which that's fine. That's just how things are. I think it's one of the only fire types in this generation that isn't a starter. So pretty average, I'd say. It's an average dog.
Yeah, I think it's pretty average. Base stat total isn't bad for a baby Pokemon.
I wouldn't call it a baby. It's a good
Eh,
it's a good boy though.
it is a very good play. And then
Arcanine
Arcanine.
was on the mural with legendary birds for some reason.
Oh yeah. And then
Okay,
you got that that extra form in the
Hisuian
Hisuian
Arcanine is so
region.
cool. I literally my last stream was partially dedicated to me trying to get mini Hisuian Growlithe.
Huh.
And we succeeded.
That's very nice.
It is apparently Everstones actually serve a better purpose now.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Finally.
I know, right? But Arcanine, the rival leader champion. Wow, I cannot speak. Rival trainer does end up using one, and like most Stone Evolved Pokemon, it gets a huge power boost. I think if we don't,
Yeah.
I think we have to put Arcanine in rival class, if not the best of the best. What do we
Yeah,
think?
personal opinion, I'm thinking maybe best of the best because it is actually a really, really good Pokemon.
That's what I'm. All right, so far for best of the best, we have Water Bowser and Fire or Dog. I'm okay with this.
That is completely fine.
Alright, Poliwag, I'm afraid we don't have much to say about you. I like you, but I'm pretty sure Poliwag belongs in the weak class.
Yeah, 260 base stat total. It's one of the weaker Pokemon.
Still cute, though. Poliwhirl, on the other hand, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Like,
Not the
it's
best.
not the worst, though.
Yeah,
Poliwrath, though, its evolution's kind of lame, honestly. I think Politoed is a much cooler looking evolution.
true.
But we're not talking about that. Poliwrath, while is a pretty bad looking evolution, in my opinion, it is a water fighting type, which I think is the most interesting thing in this generation, because we don't have many of those.
Yeah, in this generation at least.
And yes, I say that knowing that the final form of Quaxley is a water fighting type, but that's 8 generations away.
Literally, yeah.
So I think Poliwrath deserves leader class.
Leader, yeah, that seems about right.
All right, Abra. There's
If
like
we had like, if we had
Abra.
an annoying tier, Aber would go there immediately.
Oh, yep. But unfortunately, I think Abra belongs in no thanks just because of how annoying it is. Yes, catching one and evolving one is useful, but if we're talking about just Abra by itself. Yeah, it's actually worse than
Yeah.
Kakuna and Metapod, which at least can hit.
Yeah, literally, all Aber knows in the game is teleport. That's it.
Now, Kadabra, on the other hand, is a lot better. It's like most psychic types in Gen 1, it is extremely broken.
Oh yeah, it
Not,
is very good considering it knows psychic moves.
yeah, so it does belong. Say just because it's a pre to its final form, it belongs in average. But Alakazam, on the other hand, I'm going to say we put that in rival class because simply getting one is too annoying in old generations. New games, it's easier, but if you wanted Alakazam in anything before Gen 4, or hell, even before Gen 6, it takes a little bit of effort. That's not even worth it.
Yeah, it's a lot of grinding.
Specifically, having friends, which, eh. Alright, so yeah, Alakazam belongs in the rival class.
Yeah, but also Alakazam did get an entire episode with it banned because it gave a lot of kids seizures in the anime.
Ha!
Yeah, there's a banned episode of Pokemon with Alakazam in it. It's the only episode with Alakazam because it gave thousands of kids seizures.
Alright, Machop.
It is very dark.
Yeah, I have returned.
Welcome back
I had to tell my
to
sister
the
that we don't
land
have
of
any
living.
bread.
Down.
Alright, we're up to Machop, which, eh.
It's
That
not weak.
I just don't. It's just Machoke and Machamp are so much better.
Yeah.
It's definitely average. I'll give it that.
Yeah, I'd put it on average.
Machoke, I'd say, is a leader. It definitely is. It's it's strong in its own way. And Jaden Animations did use one for her Ruby Nuzlocke that ended up helping her a lot.
Yeah, that
So
helped her out a lot.
so yeah, it's leader. Machamp is an Elite Four Pokemon. But like with Alakazam, I'm going to say it belongs in the rival class simply because getting one is a pain.
Indeed it is.
Trade evolutions aren't exactly the most fun thing in the world. And I know that in Legends Arceus they kind of countered that, but unfortunately they did not give us that option in the new game, so yeah. Bellsprout. Weak. There
Yeah,
I
it's
have
weak.
I have no opinion of it other than it's weak. Uh,
Its evolutions are way better.
I do know that in the anime there was one Bellsprout that was apparently the Bellsprout from hell itself, and that
What the hell?
Ash had to suffocate it with his muck in order to defeat it. I will
I don't
legit.
even remember seeing that, bro.
I think I can find that clip on YouTube, but I'll do that later. Um,
Alright.
I'd say Weepin' Bell is definitely better than Bellsprout, but not by a whole lot. I'd say average at best. It has
Yeah,
very
it's average, but then Victory Bell is something
it,
different.
it's a stone evolution Pokemon, which means it's definitely on the stronger side, but I don't think it's good enough to reach rival class. I think putting it in leader class is probably a healthy area for it.
And it's got a 420 base stat total.
And now I want to immediately drop it to no thanks, just for that statement. But I'm not going to. Uh,
It's really strong. There's a lot of Pokemon that got a 420 base stat total.
okay. Well, moving on. Tentacool. A Pokemon that is actually surprisingly good, and yet I never use it ever.
Yeah, I don't use it either.
So I think it's definitely earned. It's definitely an average Pokemon, but I would never put. But Tentacruel has a really good stat base, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's 435
And
for base
overall,
stat total.
I would say it definitely earns a spot in the leader class, but I still probably never use one unless I'm desperate for a water type in a Nuzlocke or a poison type. What do we say about Geodude, though?
It's a rock with fists. That's it.
Yeah, I think both Geodude and Graveler are kinda eh. I think they belong in the average spots because I don't really
Yeah, average seems about right.
most of the time Graveler just doesn't seem like most middle evolutions it doesn't really get a lot of love, which I'm starting to know is a trend for us.
I don't know. Graveler is just a bunch of speedrun ruiners and Nuzlocke ruiners because of explosion.
Oh, you're giving me Vietnam flashbacks with that Pineco and that Regirock.
Oh no.
Ugh. All right, Golem. I think Golem definitely is a lot better than Graveler, obviously. I don't know if I'd put it under the same trait evolution area as Machamp or Alakazam, but I definitely say it belongs in the leader class. It,
Yeah, that seems about right.
I think it is an Elite Four Pokemon, but also it's quadruple weak to water.
Yeah, it's kind of an issue.
All right, we're down to I think the last fire types in this generation: Ponyta and Rapidash. Very fast, hard, no defense.
Except the last one. We got Magmar still.
Oh yeah, I forgot Magmar existed.
And then my baby.
we'll we'll get there. So Ponyta, it's okay, I guess. Anyone who uses one kind of uses one efficiently, so I'd say it probably belongs with Growlithe and average.
It's actually really strong. It's got a 345 base stat total.
All right, how about I put an extra Charmeleon then?
Yeah, that seems about right.
All right, Rapidash. Well, considering we just put Ponyta in high average, I'm gonna guess that this one probably belongs in leader or rival. I mean, Blaine.
Yeah.
Okay, Blaine's ace was Arcanine, but his Rapidash was pretty good if I remember correctly. So we'll put it in high leader. That seems
Yeah,
about
high
right.
leader. It's got a 420 base stat total.
Funny. Okay, now Slowbro
Yeah, it's a
might be
lot.
Poke here might be one of the only base Pokemon I put somewhere high up. Because Slowpoke is actually pretty good.
That is true. And
Water Psy
Slowbro is literally just an upgrade.
Slowpoke is water psychic, slow but has great defense, and it can hit hard when used right. I think
That is
overall,
true.
I think overall it definitely gets a spot in the leader class.
Leader class, that's fair.
Slowbro is, like you said, better, so it definitely goes to rival class.
Either that or it goes into best of the best, because it is
You know what?
really,
You're
really
right.
good.
Slowbro, you've earned your spot at the best of the best. You can hang out with Arcanine and Blastoise.
Plus, it has a really nice design too. So
Oh boy, now we're down to another one of my Nuzlocke play friends.
Magnemite.
Yep, Magnemite. It's actually pretty good. Magnemite's Steel Electric, and Steel is very good at Hood in pretty much every generation. The only thing that's really holding Magnemite back is that it does not have much health.
Yeah, that's a lot of. It's not that much health.
It definitely belongs in the average class, and if Magnezone was in this game, oh believe me, it probably would be best of the best.
Yeah, Magnezone is really, really strong.
But we're talking about Magneton, which it's definitely high leader.
Yeah, high leader, but not rival.
Yeah, even though I used one for a while. Farfetch'd. If this was Galarian Farfetch'd, it would be high ranking, but I don't have much opinions on regular Farfetch'd other than it's bird with stick.
With the leak.
Yes. Um, I've heard that it's pretty good overall, so maybe high average.
It's a 290 base stat total.
I'll put it mid average then. All right, we're
Yeah,
on.
that's kind of fair.
All right, we're down to the original ostrich.
Doduo.
Yep, the two-headed bird. I don't know why this thing can learn fly, but it can.
Didn't even know it can learn fly.
I
It's because I don't use it.
it's okay. My Pepsi bottle just got knocked over. I would say it's definitely the Doduo is definitely an average bird, and Dodrio is either low leader class or high average. Where
Mm,
where does
yeah,
three?
low leader class.
All right, it can hang out with Golduck. Seal.
Seal,
Eh,
very cute.
okay, here's the thing. Seal is water ice, which is pretty good since ice type's not much of a thing in this generation.
Yeah, they basically like shit
So
on it completely.
I would say that Seal overall goes average, pretty much.
Yeah,
It's
it's around average. It's like a high average.
I'll put over here. Dugong is a terrible evolution again.
No, 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 it's cute. I like it.
He also has a bad shiny.
Oh, that is true.
We're not judging based off shinies. If we were, Pikachu would definitely be it. No thanks.
But yeah, very bottom.
Right next to Garchomp.
That is so true because
All
it's
right,
like
I'll
subtle changes.
All right, Dugong is used by one of the Elite Four, so I'd say I'll put it at high leader. Like
Yeah, that's alright.
it's water ice, which means good against dragon, but also it gets weak against flying or not flying, fighting. But it does neutralize fire, so it's not bad. Oh boy, Grimer. What do we say about Grimer? Other than it's annoying.
Um.
Stupid minimize strategy.
Oh God, giving me flashbacks.
If I have to suffer through Vietnam flashbacks, so do you.
I have to suffer through a lot of these.
Uh, alright, you know what? Grimer's not bad, considering the strategy overall. I'd say it belongs in average. Just low
I
average,
have
though.
like a low, yeah, very low average.
Muck, on the other hand, is very terrifying, especially with Koga.
Oh God.
So it definitely earns a spot in the leader class, right next to Tentacruel and Golbat. It's Poison Bros.
Yeah, that seems
Oh,
fair.
Jesus, Discord was not a fan of that statement.
Yeah, Discord has not been a fan all day, apparently.
Very much so. Shelter. Great defense, not great special defense. Same with Cloister. But it's also a water ice type. They're both water ice types, like the Dukong and Seal before them. I don't know. I just think they're kind of better.
Shelter's Cloister's really good.
All right, I'll put Shelter ahead of Dukong because high defense, and or not Shelter ahead of Dukong. Shelter ahead of Seal, and I'll put Cloister. Well, Cloister is an Elite Four Pokemon, so I'll go ahead and put it high leader.
I was thinking rival class maybe because it's a 480 base stat total.
You know
That's
what?
really high.
Fair enough. I'll put it next to Sandslash and the Nidos. Ghastly. Yeah, no, Ghastly's not great. Like, not
I'd
at all.
say weak, kinda.
I like Ghastly. I like the ghost types. I really do. It's just Haunter is so much better.
And then Gengar is just.
We'll get there in a minute though. But first, Haunter. Haunter's a much better version of Ghastly. So I say it definitely belongs in either low leader or high average.
I was thinking low leader.
Yeah, it can go above. It can go above the. I'll say it'll go. It'll hang out next to Eradicate. That seems fair.
And then its Dex entry is just like, oh god.
Yep. All right, Gengar. I cannot deny the fact that it definitely belongs in rival class right next to Machamp and Alakazam. If
I was thinking best of the best.
Yeah, I'm gonna win. The only reason keeping it from best of the best is the same reason why Machamp and Alakazam won't reach that. It's annoying to get a Gengar in any of the older games. Hell, I think that they know this because this now, so they basically give you a free Gengar in Paldea. Which means
I didn't even know that. Hold on.
There is someone that trades you something for Gengar.
I haven't been talking to anyone in Paldea. Probably why.
I've barely been talking to anyone. You really need to, you really need to get back to Scarlet and just go on an adventure.
We'll play Scarlet after this.
I might join your world just to see if I can get any of the exclusives I can get.
Understandable. I don't have that many.
I'll give you the exclusives you don't have one day, but for now, back to it. Onyx, no. Onyx is not great. Steelix, so much better.
It's alright. Brock used it, so.
Yes, but it never really won anything. It nearly killed Pikachu, which that's just rude. And I've seen so many Onyx just fail beyond. Oh, and I just don't think it's good. I'll put it in low average, but if this was Steelix, we'd be talking best of the best right there. Can I just?
I honestly agree.
Hey, we found out Mikey's true love, Drowsy.
I don't know why he slept with that Drowsy.
I actually have the John Michael Cup videos running in the background while we're doing this. I just like having things on for me to just look at and just be like, oh hey, that's happening. My friend actually really likes Hypno Power, but I don't like Drowsy very much at all. So I'll go ahead and put it Drowsy in average because psychic types are really good.
Yeah.
And I'll put Hypno.
Then Hypno on the other hand is really good.
I'll put it in mid lead. I'll put Hypno in mid leader.
That's fine.
All right. Oh, this is one of my favorite water types, Krabby and
Kick the crab.
What do you have against Krabby?
Kick the crab.
I'm putting okay, I'll put Krabby in weak if that's what you're saying.
No, it's not weak. It's got a 300 base stat total.
I'll put it in mid average. Kingler on the other hand, I'll put I think mid leader is pretty good for Kingler.
Yeah, it's either mid leader or low leader. So.
I'm talking. I mean, I had a lot of fun guillotining things if Kingler and Soul Silver.
That's fair.
Okay. Now we're up to the hand grenades.
Voltorb, weak.
Yeah, it's fast though.
Kind of.
Electrode, very fast, very underestimated, and quite useful when used correctly. So either high average.
Scary in the. It's very scary in Hisuian region.
Oh yeah, but we're not talking about the Hisuian version right now. We're talking about the Cantonian version. I'd say Electro.
Cantoni.
Cantonian. I think that's the right word. I'll put Electrode in low leader.
That's fine.
And now we're down to Execute. Grass Psychic. Grass.
Apparently, I found out it's not even supposed to be eggs.
Yeah, I found that out a while ago, but I'm still calling it eggs because it looks like eggs.
Yeah, those like cracked eggs.
Alright, Grass Psychic, not bad. I've had a couple annoyances with its evolved form, so I'd say Execute's pretty average.
Yeah, it's low average.
Now, Executor, on the other hand, that thing is. I think I used one. I think I actually used an Executor in my Fire Red Nuzlocke a while ago. I don't remember.
I remember seeing somebody sweep an entire Elite Four with it.
Yeah, I think Executor is probably one of the probably worthy of rival class right there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Cubone. I like
Very
this.
sad story.
It very much is, but I like it about as much as Sandshrew and Sandslash. It's a ground type. It's pretty solid overall, I'd say, and it learns Boomerang, which is one of my favorite moves.
And it's also a very cute design.
Despite how sad it is.
That is true.
Alright, I'll put Cubone in high average, but I'd say Marowak, probably mid leader.
Yeah, mid leader. Yeah, that's fine.
Mid leader, right next to Sandshrew. Okay, Hitmonlee and Hitmontop. That's something.
You mean Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan?
Oh yeah, right. Sorry, yeah. They're similar. I get confused. One kicks Ixalot, the other punches. Now I'm going to say I think Hitmon on top is better because of the elemental punches it gains.
Well, literally the thing, it was made after Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan, so...
I'd say these both have earned I think they both earn mid leader.
I'm thinking low leader.
Fair enough.
Because they both go to 345 base stat total, but it's like differentiating throughout the entire stats.
Primeape is the superior fighting type, just like in that episode.
That is true.
Lickitung, the most terrifying thing in existence that apparently can't learn Lick.
I don't want to know what Jesse does with it.
Oh god, I just want to put that in no thanks just for that. Lickitung is tanky though. It is an overall solid normal type. I'd say mid-average is probably the best option.
The mid-average, yeah, that's fine.
In the
anime, it is very strong.
Although watching Psyduck destroy it in the anime was very, very satisfying.
It was laughable.
Oh, we found the other hand grenade. Coughing.
It's fine. I think it's like low average almost.
I'll put it next to Ekans just for the sake of comedy. Weezing, on the other hand, being almost Elite Four member's ace and the ace of the Poison Gym leader, and also quite effective for a certain Alpha Rad during his first Nuzlocke, I'd say Weezing is definitely a high leader.
I find it kind of funny. It has a 420 base stat total.
Of course it does.
I find it funny.
Alright, we're down to one of the, I think, last ground types in this, if not the last. Rhyhorn and Rhydon.
It's not the last.
Well, I lose track sometimes. Rhyhorn is... I like Rhyhorn. I think it's one of the only Rhino Pokemon in the game, and I can't remember any other Rhinos.
Was it Rhyhorn or Rhydon that was the first Pokemon ever created?
It was Rhydon.
Okay, I couldn't remember. It was one of them.
I actually found that out recently.
I've known that for a couple of years. I just couldn't remember which evolution it was.
I also found out that Victrini is apparently number 0 in the National Dex, which makes no goddamn sense to me.
Only in Unova.
we'll get there when we get there. But Rhyhorn is fine. I'd say it's probably like with Geodude and Onyx. It's not bad. I think it's definitely more tanky than Diglett.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's above Diglett for that reason. Right Dawn. I think this is a lot stronger. So
It's actually really strong. Jesus Christ.
I'd say I've barely seen one used, so I'd probably put it in leader for that reason. Because when
I
it
think it's
is
because of its speed stat. Let me check.
when it's actually used, it's quite strong.
Yeah. Oh God. Its speed stat is terrible.
Okay, we're up to Chansey, which, like with Wigglytuff, is basically just EXP.
Yeah. Give it an XP.
So I will put it next to Wigglytuff and then forget about it.
Jesus, it's tanky. It's got a 250 health stat base.
Yeah, that's why I'm scared of it. Tangela.
Oh my God, that is so strong for no reason. Why is it that strong?
Plot convenience. I have no opinion on Tangela. I think Tangrowth is a much cooler Pokemon.
Yeah, but it's not in this generation.
Nope. I've never used a Tangela. Have you?
No, not really.
I've had a shiny one actually once though.
Oh wow, that's pretty nice.
And then my Soul Silver
Can't
file.
say no to a shiny.
And then my Soul Silver file got corrupted, so that's depressing.
Damn, can't say no to a shiny unless it's a purple cliff.
Ah. Alright, I'll go ahead and put Tangela mid-average then. Just for stat base.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's not a heck no and it's not a weak.
Alright, I think we're down to the best normal type in this generation. The thing I can't find in Pokemon Go.
Kangaskhan.
Holy,
It's got a very low spawn rate.
it does. And one thing, that Kangaskhan episode in the anime was tragic.
I think I remember seeing a clip of it, but I don't remember actually like watching it.
I used to have it on VHS before the incident, we'll call it. Overall, Kangaskhan is extremely powerful, so I think it is definitely in rival class.
That is understandable. Yeah, I agree with that.
I'll put it next to Nidoking and Nidoqueen since they all look similar.
That is true. They do look a little similar.
Ah, Horsey, the thing that Misty caught when Tentacruel were killing everyone.
Weak.
Yeah, Kingdra and Seadra are a lot better than Horsey. Like, the only reason I ever...
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Seadra, not Kingdra. If this was Kingdra, we'd probably have to put that in best of the best, because Water Dragon...
Yeah, Kingdra's best of the best.
But
Seadra's like...
Kingdra is a Gen 2 Pokemon, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember. I think it is. It's either Gen 2 or Gen 3.
No, it is. I remember that in the third Pokemon movie, which was Johto, there was a Kingdra in that.
Okay.
That movie was awesome. It had Charizard versus Entei.
I have all of the Pokemon movies, so I can watch them whenever I want.
That's amazing. I have to watch the Hisuian thing that was released a while ago.
Oh God, I didn't even know that was a thing.
It's a Netflix thing.
I don't even got Netflix.
I have it for like only a little bit more. All right, so Seadra is, I'd say it's probably leader class because of how effective it is for this generation.
I was thinking low rival.
That's fine.
It's either high leader or low
Because I
rival.
think Lance uses one.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does. So I remember seeing it on one of like a really big team.
Okay, now we're on to probably the most useful fish in this generation.
Useful?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Goldine's more useful than Magikarp.
True.
Oh yeah, and I did kill one of my Nuzlocke on accident. So, oops. I think we might just have to put Goldeen on weaker but low average because I can't remember it being useful ever.
Yeah, nobody really uses it that much. Same thing as Seeking. Nobody really uses Seeking.
I try to get a Seeking, but here's the thing. I will put Seeking on high average for one reason and one reason only. It can learn Horn Drill, which is a one-hit KO.
Oh yeah.
and that's good.
Yeah, that's really good.
Okay, now we have Staryu. Water Psychic, like Slowbro, but is it as good stat-wise?
Let me see. Where's Slowbro on the list? Slowbro is okay. Slowpoke is at 275, and Staryu is at 285.
Hmm.
So it's a 10-point difference.
Okay, I'll say Staryu is high average, and Starmie is probably what uh and well whatever I was just doing just glitched. So I have no idea where I just put Starmie. I gotta find it.
Hey, oh God.
Starmie has left the building. It's gone.
Is it no longer there? What?
I can't find it.
Is it at the bottom of the list?
I don't know. I literally was about to oh, wait, I found it. I unintentionally moved it ahead in the non-rankings. All right, yeah, now Starmie is low. I say it's lower O leader, considering it is used by a low leader.
That is true.
Mr. Mime, fairy psychic, decent typing.
Ash's dad.
He used Mr. Mime in a couple battles in the Journeys anime. It's
I
overall
don't know, Mr. Mime always creeped me out.
fair enough. Overall, Mr. Mime is pretty overall good. I'd say it's high average, and you can get one for trading an Abra, which that's always nice.
True.
Also being part fairy is pretty useful.
Then his region variant Mr. Rhyme was used in MJTV's Metronome battles. It was really good.
Fun. All right, Scyther, the best bug in this generation. I feel like we have to put Scyther at least in the leader class.
I'm sticking rival.
Yeah, I'm down with that because Scyther itself is amazing. Sorry, Butterfree. Sorry, Butterfree and Beedrill. You tried. Okay, now this is a
You
Pokemon.
tried and failed.
This Pokemon actually creeps me out more than Mr. Mime. Jinx.
That Pokemon's also extremely controversial.
Yeah, Jinx kind of creeps me
Heck
out.
no.
So, here's the thing. I have to judge it based on everything. I had to use one of my Soul Silver Nuzlocke because type coverage. It's Psychic Ice, it can hit hard, but it has no defense like all Psychic types apparently.
Yeah, it's got 35 defense. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put it at low average.
I was thinking heck no, because I really do not like that Pokemon.
I'm going by stats, I have to be somewhat fair.
It's a 340 stats, so yeah, it's got good stats.
If anyone has seen my Pixelmon videos, they know that I have a very big love for Electabuzz's final form, Electivire.
That is true.
It's one of my favorite things to use in that game. But we are talking about Electabuzz, which is okay. I don't know.
It's fine.
It's whenever the rival in Gen 4 Paul used his Elekid, and then we saw the final battle between him and Ash. I thought that's pretty cool, but I'll put Electabuzz in average for the sake of just that, I guess.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, what do we talk about Magmar though? You seem to have some opinion on it.
Magmar is a 395 base stat total. It's one of the other fire types. It has a higher base stat total than half of the starter evolutions.
Heh.
And then it's also like one of the higher base stat totals that is a technically fully evolved Pokemon because it doesn't have the baby evolution
Yep.
in this generation.
It's a no evolved Pokemon. It has no forms in this.
Yeah.
It's also one of the also like Electabuzz. It does get a baby form and then a final form though, which is interesting.
Yeah, Electabuzz and Magmar actually have the same base stat total of 395.
I say we put them next to each other then in an average class.
Yeah, because they're not bad.
They're just not great.
Okay. Yeah, they share the same defense.
Speaking of interesting, we got Pinsir, which is a very powerful bug type, that is.
Yeah, no shit, 430.
I would say that Pinsir definitely earns a spot in the leader class, but I just I don't use bug types nearly enough to even consider putting it higher.
I honestly don't know.
I'll put it
Is
mid.
it is on a gym leader's team, I believe, but I don't know if it's first gen.
It's not because no first generation. There's no bug gem with the first gen.
Oh, true.
All right, I'll put it in the mid leader. That seems fair. Tauros. Why did Ash catch like 30 of these?
I honestly do not remember.
I actually don't know. Um, I don't know. I like that you can. I like that it's the first ride Pokemon you get in Alola,
Yeah,
and I'm
considering it's fast.
and I'm glad it got a regional variant after how many generations.
But God, is that regional variant shiny? So ass.
But we're not talking about that. And also, I don't really have opinions on its fire and water versions of its fighting form, which makes no goddamn sense to me.
Yeah, it really does make no
All right.
sense.
Overall, Tauros, it's a okay normal type. I think I'll put it on high average, but that's about all I can say about it.
That's fair.
I think Kangaskhan's just overall better. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is already obvious, but Magikarp is definitely going in the no thanks
We.
section. No, it's going in no. Actually, no, you're right. You can evolve it, and even though we're not counting its evolved form, the fact that it does have the usefulness of evolving, well, actually, no. I have to put it. I have to put it in no thanks, just because no one wants to train a Magikarp, and the only good part about it is literally the investment of Gyarados.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Gyarados is
best of the
best of the
best,
best.
actually,
Yeah, we had the same
actually,
thinking.
no, I can't. I
It's a
think we're
480 base stat total. What do you
I
mean?
think we have to put it in rival class just because of the 4 times weakness to electricity. Because that was kind of the main reason. The main reason we put Charizard lower was because of its 4 times weakness to rock.
True.
But here's the thing: Gyarados does neutralize ice and uh, grass. So, mm, do we want to say that
Considering it's one
it
of the
does?
best picks for the Ice Gym, or the Dragon Gym, I mean.
And it also is. Eh, you know what? I say, you know what? I changed my mind. Best of the best, just because it actually neutralizes a lot, while Charizard only really neutralized ground, which was a problem. I think
Yeah,
that's
Gyarados is like really good. You basically need it for your final team.
all right. But Lapras,
Underrated.
very underrated. It is a good boat, though.
Very, very good boat. Really high health stat. Jesus.
All right, and because it is an Elite Four Pokemon, I will say it definitely is either high leader or low rival.
Low rival.
All
Or
right,
middle rival, actually.
fair enough. That seems about right. Uh, no thanks, Ditto.
Aw, come on. You gotta be nice to Jack.
Okay, come on. We have to be realistic here. Ditto is not a great Pokemon at all. It is a failed Mew experiment. Its main thing is transforming into Pokemon, which is barely ever helpful. And overall, yeah, it doesn't have much use at all. And I think
Breeding.
exactly that's its only use, which barely gives it any points. In my opinion, it's the most high rank no thanks Pokemon, but that's about it.
Thing.
Eevee, on the other hand, I'm going to go ahead and say is definitely the highest average. Because Eevee is mostly
Yeah.
what you use to evolve. And if you
Yeah, a
say,
lot of people have EVs just to get the evolutions.
yes, and that's, well, I do like Eevee by its own, it's still, eh. Alright,
It's okay.
Vaporeon. Eh. I know
Yeah, for me, it's meh. It's my least favorite evolution.
it is strong.
Especially because of the memes.
Alright, well, for that reason, I will put it at low leader just because it is technically the stronger version of Eevee.
I mean, okay, all the evolutions in this generation do have the same base stat total of 430.
Yeah, I'll put it below leader, or just for that. Hmm. I am totally not biased here. I'm Not definitely going to put Jolteon at the highest class just because I love it. Okay, but for real though, Jolteon carried me through the Elite Four in my Nuzlocke. I feel like it's justified in that route.
Its speed stat is insane.
Speed,
130.
being fast, shadow balling everything, electrocuting everything else that gets in my way. It was a god.
Yeah, Vaporeon's got the higher stat and HP. Jolteon has speed.
And Flareon is now next, and I know for a fact that
I love
if I
Flareon.
put this any lower than rival status, you would probably kill me.
Nah. Flareon has a 130 attack stat.
I'll let you decide
That's
where
really good.
I'll let you decide where you think it belongs in your totally unbiased opinion.
My personal opinion, best of the best.
I'll put it next to Jolteon. They'll be friends.
Flareon is so cute. Plus, it's like really powerful.
Is Porygon even useful in this generation? It doesn't have any of its
No.
evolutions. No thanks then.
No, it's not.
Amatai. Rock Water.
Ammonite.
Whatever. I don't praise the Helix fossil like everyone else.
I don't either.
uh, it's rock water, which makes it quadruple weak to grass, but definitely effective against fire.
True.
I don't know where we put that, except for just maybe mid-average.
Mid-average seems about right.
What about Almost Star?
Um, either high average or low leader.
I'll say low leader.
Because it
Kabuto.
is pretty powerful.
I feel like Kabuto and Kabutops just belong next to the Ammonite and Almost Star. I don't really see it. There's not much of a difference, from what I can tell.
Besides,
Aerodactyl.
like, a little bit steps.
Aerodactyl, on the other hand,
Rival.
I was gonna say it definitely belongs in Rival, and Lance used one for Christ's sake.
Yeah, that is. It's really dangerous. It's got 440 for a base stat total.
I feel like we have to put Snorlax in Best of the Best. It is one of the strongest Pokemon in this entire in the entire series. Tanky, can hit like a truck, and overall can learn a lot of good moves.
Actually, Aerodactyl has a higher base stat total than Snorlax.
Also, Snorlax only has
by 10 points.
Also, Snorlax only has one weakness, which is fighting.
That's true. Not many people are really bringing fighting types. So.
I mean, I brought a fighting type. It just barely did anything.
I try to bring as much as possible for stat coverage.
We're getting close to the end here, and we're on to pseudo legends and actual legends. Articuno, my first legendary, the only thing I ever, and the first time I used the Master Ball. I have a very high opinion of Articuno because of this. I feel like we have to put most of the legendary birds in rival class.
Yeah, because it wouldn't make sense if we put it in Faggot, like, no. If we put it on Heck No, people are gonna get mad.
Alright, Articuno, definitely high rival. Same with Zapdos and Moltres. Actually, no, Zapdos is best of the best. Electric Flying is extremely good.
Zapdos is the second strongest out of the legendary bird trio.
Moltres is definitely with the rivals.
Yes. Moltres is the strongest.
Dratini is an investment.
That is true.
But it is
Go to Safari if you're playing Gen 1 to get a Dratini. It's worth it.
Safari, Game Corner, all sorts of crap. But
it's so worth it.
Dratini is definitely an average investment, I'd say.
Yeah, that's an average investment. I'd spend my time to get Dratini.
Dragonair is a rival Pokemon. Lance used one in his Elite Four, and it is definitely worthy of it.
Yeah. Jeez, it's really fast too. Actually, it's not that fast. It's just fast.
Dragonite is the first pseudo-legendary, and it is by far one of the strongest Pokemon in the game. It belongs in the best of the best.
It is technically it's the second strongest with the entire base stat total being equal to Mew.
Speaking of Mew, Mewtwo and Mew, is there any chance we have? Is there any chance we put this anywhere besides Best of the Best? Like,
We can put
realistically,
Mewtwo.
let's because
It
let's keep
depends. It's
because
personal opinions.
let's also keep in mind that my Mew in my randomized Nuzlocke saved my ass.
That is true.
Like, it actually did, and I have to say, I can't think of any other place these two belong besides at the Best of the Best. Because as far as I can tell, they're both on par with each other.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, I never realized how much Mew. They're not. I didn't realize how strong Mewtwo was until after this.
All right, and with that, and geez, how long? With an hour and a half of talking, we have ranked every Pokemon in the Kanto region.
Jesus, it's gonna take a long time for all of them.
That's why we're only doing these in sections. Obviously, we're not going to be doing this all at once because if we did this, we'd be here all day, and I don't think either of us really want to talk about Pokemon that long, even though we probably would enjoy it.
Yeah.
Oh, just believe me
we have things to do.
Yeah, I got stuff to start editing. This video may or may not come out in February, depending on how much I get it done.
Alright.
I have to cut out a bunch of the parts where Discord was being a bitch, as well as whenever I had to leave for a minute.
Yeah, that's fair.
Overall, this is going to be a probably long video. I'll probably upload on a weekend.
That's fair.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh, believe me, when we get to Gen 4, we're going to have a lot of Best of the Best. I love that generation.
Oh God. I gotta say some things to all the cats that stand up.
Incineroar is still a good Pokemon in my opinion.
That's true, but it could have stayed on all fours.
Just be glad that the Fire Croc did, or he at least went back to all. Or no, he went to all fours. He started on 2 feet.
His arms couldn't even reach the ground.
I know.
The T-Rex at that point.
Yes, a dinosaur starter, just what I wanted. Oh wait, isn't Venusaur a dinosaur?
Technically.
Alright, I am officially tired, so I better get started on what I can do.
Alright, good luck.
Thank you for joining me on this, as we will continue this probably in a week or two, maybe if we feel like it.
Yeah, if we feel like it. We just gotta get in the mood.
This was I asked you, hey, you want to do this on Saturday? And help, here we are.
I'm just glad I had nothing to really do.
Yeah. And if anyone has opinions on, if anyone has a different idea of what we should have put on what section of the tier list, that's your opinion. Enjoy it. It's your opinion. But
this is our opinions.
Yes. And we ranked it as fair as we could, except for Charizard, which is always the fan favorite.
Yeah.
Alright.
I think it's gonna get that way in Gen 6.
Probably. Anyway, what else can I say except for my usual outro, which is peace out, people.